Ugh, YouTube.
I hope you're okay.
Hey.
You don't have to try so hard.
Okay.
This allegation of groomer and pedophile, it is alleging that a person.
Welcome to another exhausting 4 minutes of video response with King Cobra. This video gives me anxiety. Odin's Men is an awesome YouTuber who brings up a fair point. However, it's misconstrued because there are things in place that I'm going to say to you. LGBTQ plus, the P and plus is supposed to stand for plus. Now, I sincerely hope that LGBTQ plus, whatever you want to call yourselves, does not support disgusting sickos, because if LGBTQ elemental P plus supports that nasty shit, you're gonna lose a straight supporter. You're gonna lose a straight ally. I fucking hate sickos. Get some sake. Here's the thing of it. There is a group called Gays Against Groomers. They are awesome. However, there are some assholes who want to do some fucking sicko shit. And they try to normalize it because, well, if gays are allowed to do their thing, kind of thing, then why can't they do it? Because there's a big difference, bud. And this is the kind of crap that pedophiles and anti-gay motherfuckers will use. Okay, so you got the assholes who want to touch kids cowering behind LGBTQ. And some people of that group are thinking, well, they're getting persecuted for being gay, so they kind of let it slide and just ignore it, but they really shouldn't, because there's a line you shouldn't cross. Like, if LGBTQ starts supporting sickos, you're gonna lose a fucking straight ally, dude. No bullshit.
Criminal somehow.
Since we live in
a society where it's like, okay, you know LGBTQ gets enough hatred as it is. And then when you got the assholes like Alan Walker, don't look him up if you really hate sickos. It's non-binary prick. It's just the assholes ruining it for people. I know a lot of people who are a part of LGBTQ. There are a lot of LGBTQ members and who hate pedophiles as much as I do. This is a very sensitive topic because it's going to trigger a lot of people.
the sound bites, the congressman from California is missing something. Yes, peds and
It should be legal to kill pedophiles. That's just my opinion.
would be a bad thing. It's not something you typically would defend.
And engaged in criminal acts merely because of their identity, their sexual orientation, their gender identity.
This is how sick fucks weaponize LGBTQ plus rights. This is just like the asshole in Scotland who rapes a bunch of women and then comes out as trans, and the dude's being thrown into a fucking female prison with his Johnson still intact because he identified as trans while getting arrested, throwing a convicted pedophile into a juvenile detention center, basically. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting, YouTube. There are people out there who take acceptance and then they just abuse it for their own sick, twisted needs, and society is just truly fucked, in my opinion.
Second, so shroomers and peds is an identity now. So it's a...
No, he's not. He's saying shroomers because, they're actually called groomers. There is a sick, twisted part. It's a two-way coin, YouTube. There are a lot of gays who are against sick fucks and what have you. And there are some people who use the gay system to try to support sickos, and it's disgusting. It's fucking disgusting, YouTube. Now, if you got some homophobic LGBTQ phobe asshole who also hates sickos, you know what I'm saying? And then you got sickos who abuse LGBTQ plus. Most people aren't going to take a second glance at it. If you're homophobic already, that's just going to reinstill it for obvious reasons, because fuck sickos. So LGBTQ needs to get their shit together and, be like, you know what? We should include straights, asexuals, trans, gays, lesbians, bisexuals, queers, but fuck sickos. Okay, if kids want to date each other, that's a little inappropriate in my opinion. I think you should wait till you're 18 to date. Focus on your studies and developing a personality. You know what I'm saying? Ah.
Identity. I just heard that. Now I know Twitter's blowing up. Everybody says it's out of context.
It is being blown out of context because when J.K. Rowling stands up and says that the asshole in Scotland is a piece of shit, everyone calls her a transphobe. Never mind the fact that, hey, stop and think for a second. If you identify as a woman, then she's fighting for women's rights. You got people who are saying that gender is fluid, but it's also non-existent. Then why do you force everyone to call you a female when you identify as one? See, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, but as long as you're not a sicko, who gives a flying fuck, to be honest? Suck it! Oops. I've seen what happens to people who are abused in certain ways. I have friends that I know of, not gonna give names, and it's really fucked, dude. I fucking hate pedophiles, dude, more than I hate mongooses, Jesus Christ, and what have you. I take another shot because that was bullshit. Turned into a spitting cobra. Like, children are more precious than rock and roll, to be honest. That's how I feel about it. Children are just underdeveloped adults. Basically, if you don't let them develop at a healthy, normal rate, then you know what I'm saying? You're a fucking asshole, in my opinion.
The whole thing is out of context. No one's reasonable anymore. They said it knowing the current facts we've got, knowing people are triggered by grown fat men in thongs going to drag queen story hour, and never.
Yeah, that's a little creepy. Okay. If you know, when I was growing up as a kid, my version of drag was Bugs Bunny dressing up as Elmer, as a girl, and Elmer fucking with Elmer Fudd for the whole episode. It was perfectly harmless, innocent, cute, slapstick, Looney Tunes classic comedy. However, that's as far as it went. It's essentially what some people are doing with this is forcing kids to grow up way too fast. And then cowering behind LGBTQ plus. Because the thing about sickos is that they do have a sexual preference. It is disgusting, no matter what it is. If you're a sicko, fuck you. That's just the best way to say it. I hate saying the P word.
The left loves hammering priests, hammering Boy Scout leaders for the small group of bad people, but well, let's keep going.
So this is clearly prohibited under Twitter's content, yet you found hundreds of these posts on the platform.
Now I'm going to.
So now you have this thing where it's like if you try to call out the LGBTQIAA plus as being groomers, that shit gets censored. And now it's censored for a reason, because a lot of pretty much 95.9% of LGBTQ plus hate sickos. You know what I'm saying? And they just want to see equality. And certain people just don't deserve equality. I know that's not equality, which is the bitch of it, but it's the truth. You know, should a bank robber and a murderer have equality to you and me? No. You know what I'm saying? You know, this is a very sensitive topic because a lot of people are going to get super butthurt about it. Like, And you can't let this ruin it for LGBTQ plus. You just can't. And I swear to God, if LGBTQIAA plus supports sickos, you're gonna lose a straight ally. That's a fucking goddamn fact. I'll tell you right now. I'm your Huckleberry motherfucker. I got some really badass Doc Holliday t-shirts. Because I'm a fan of Tombstone, the movie. It's a classic. Val Kilmer, Kurt Russell, good shit, man. That shit never gets old, man. I never get tired of watching that movie. It's just so... It's a classic. Especially when I got my cap gun. It feels super autistic and nerdy, but... We're living in a modern day sexual revolution where people are discovering their sexualities and their gender identities, and that's fine to a point, as long as you're not a sicko. And Christ, you got white dudes who identify as black, so they inject themselves with melatonin and call themselves transracial. But back in my day, if you would have painted black all over your face, they would have said that's blackface. So I'm just like, the world's gone topsy-turvy, man. And on top of that, you got these coward sick fucks who are abusing LGBTQ plus rights to justify their cause, and it's bullshit, dude.
This entire clip, I hear a lot of people saying it's out of context, bro, selectively edited, even though everything is. We'll just hear
yes, it is extremely out of context.
As I say here.
Your team filed complaints about these posts, correct?
Yes.
And how often did Twitter act to take down these posts, which violated its own content policy?
So the posts were about shroomers, right? And if you are an ABC person and you take shroomers to mean towards you, that's your problem. Because this can apply to Boy Scout leaders or priests. That was always a meme, always a thread people were fine with.
Yeah, but Satan's the bad guy, but there are Catholic priests who worship Jesus and they're molesting kids. Really fucking makes you think, doesn't it?
If you said shroomers, it was just too much.
Very rarely. So from our calculation, it looks like about 99% of your complaints, they basically acted on one or two of the 100 plus complaints you filed. Instead of taking them down, Twitter elevated them.
Or are they supposed to terminate all accounts the activists say, this hurts my feelings? That
It should be illegal to kill sickos. And furthermore, like people have so many controversial opinions anymore that people just don't want to deal with it. So if it's deemed too controversial, they just delete it. You got to think for yourself. If you had a corporation like Twitter at your fingertips and people were using it to spread like the most fucked up, heinous shit, you'd want to fucking block it. And if you don't see me on YouTube for a couple days, I'm making wands for the holidays. I got 6 wands to make. I got 2 of them made, and they look gorgeous. The Cobra Craft ready. Now, I got about, let's see, 6, 5, 4, it's like 3 to 4 left. I got one on the wood lathe ready to go, bro. The trolls are like, get a job, and then as soon as I get one, they harass me at my job so I get fired. It just shows you I live rent-free in the trolls' heads. And furthermore, it's like, okay, look. I was a kid once, and when I was a kid, I went to school with some cute girls. I get it. You know? If kids want to date their fellow kids, that's different. You know what I'm saying? Okay, if like adults want to date their fellow adults, you know what I'm saying? That's different. But adults should never date kids. That's disgusting in my opinion. Absolutely fucking disgusting. Especially around Christmas time, dude. Come on. Like, kids are so precious, dude. No. Fucking hate sickos, dude.
What this porter wants. If it hurts someone's feelings and they got the rainbow flag draped over them, it's okay to take them down.
Now, this is the thing of it, YouTube. What you're seeing is the radical Republicans who hate gays and the radical left who supports gays, and then like the 1% of sick fucks, and it's just ruining it like I've explained it in this video.
To them. You know how this works.
Allowing them to reach an approximate 72 million users. Okay. This is not just about what happens on.
Again, that's completely fake math. She has no idea where 72 million came from. It's bullshit. They throw numbers around.
I know people who are non-binary, and they're totally chill, dude. They're just doing their thing. Yeah, man.
Whatever number the government tells you, divide by like 100, you're probably close.
What happens online translates into real harms in people's lives.
What happens online is how people think in their real lives. Yeah, granted, you get people.
Okay, if what happens online is how you think in your real life, that depends. What's reality and what's fantasy? Because you got some assholes who are just like, I hate Cobra. I hate Cobra. I want to tell him to get a job so that when he gets one and when I find out, I'll get him fired from his job. So then when he gets fired from his job and he has a hard time finding work because of troll harassment, I'll tell him he needs to get a job. So then when Cobra gets a job selling badass wands, badass tactical soap, and kick-ass t-shirts, and his music, and the occasional generous donation from the fans, you know what I'm saying? People get mad. They do. And it's pathetic.
Little bubbles and they can blow up when they're mentally ill. But this is what people really think.
Ms. Popcock, you provide services to a community that experienced a devastating LGBTQ attack. Can you provide some examples of the link between speech online and attacks against providers like you? We know really.
I got my trolls telling me to kill myself, calling me a bunch of nasty, sick things, and I just ignore it. I've talked to the police about it. And they're like, hey, if you don't like being told to kill yourself, Cobra, just get off the internet. And I'm like, that's not fair to my fans.
Online threats, I mean, in addition to just creating
online threats, she says. You know, the guy who got swatted by the Casper Police Department.
an atmosphere of bullying for young people.
I'm going to throw in a clip from the other day when she said consent can be any minor. We know better than the parents do.
Do parents have
Fuck that shit.
Should they be informed about what's going on? Do they have a right to know what's?
Yes. If you're a concerned parent, you have the right to know what's going on in your kid's life. Once they reach the age of 18, you're kind of on your own sort of thing, but beyond that, you know what I'm saying? Before that, you know, it is a parent's responsibility to raise their kid in a happy, healthy, and loving environment. Fuck sickos.
In their kids' lives.
So I think, again, those of us who are protecting and
Woman's got a huge Joker smile. You can't make that up. It's like a cartoon character.
supporting young people are there and trusted with the information of the things that they are dealing with. In terms of parents' rights to know at schools, I mean, here in Colorado, parents don't have the right.
So the zealots, the advocates in this organization know better.
So parents don't have the right to know what's going on in their children's schools. That's where I disagree, dude. I don't care what your opinion is. The fact that you have kids who are going to school, they're like, okay, if the school wants to teach LGBTQ pride, that's one thing. But as soon as they start grooming kids into becoming sickos, it's like, no, I'm done. Fuck you. Go fuck yourself. Fuck the system. It's broken. You know what I'm saying? It's the fucking goddamn truth. And nobody wants to hear the truth. It's controversial. The fact that the gays are being lumped in with pedophiles just makes LGBTQ have more hatred. And they're sick and tired of it. Rightfully so. Because there's a big difference between, okay, this chick just turned 19 and she got some big old kazangas and she's looking sexy, versus, okay, she's 14 and you know what I'm saying? Fuck that. Fuck that, YouTube. And people are calling me the fucking Antichrist because I worship Satan and I practice my Cobra demon magic. And it's becoming a thing and people are digging it. But it's like, fuck the sickos and fuck the trolls, man. I don't force my religion on other people. In fact, as long as you ain't a sicko, you know, we're not gonna have that discussion right now. True fans will get it. You know what I'm saying? I refuse to be a brainwashed asshole to this shit.
Parents, and the parents do not have the rights. These people have the rights to shroom your kid. You do not have the rights to object to said shrooming.
One person is.
And this is just like LGBTQ hate at its finest, YouTube. Think about it. Think about it. A lot of people are going to scream hypocrisy about it, but sometimes a little bit of hypocrisy makes the world a better place. I'm all for equality, but as soon as you identify as a sicko, I'm like, nope, I'm out. Fuck you. Tactical soap rules. Fuck the trolls. You know what I'm saying, YouTube?
Questioning their gender or their sexuality, there are laws in place that say that they have the right to process that with their trusted counsel.
And that's the thing of it, okay? Yeah, when I was a kid growing up, I had classmates that identified as lesbian or gay or whatever, and I did not judge. Because quite frankly, when you're a horny teenager and you see two female teenagers your own age dancing in front of you, fuck sickos. You know what I'm saying? You're like, hey, you know what? They're happy with it, I'm happy with it, and that's just me identifying as straight, and I hate sickos. So it's just like, cool, you know what? You know what I'm saying? Why is it overly complicated?
So you do. Now, who's a trusted counselor? Apparently she is. The parents are not trusted counselors.
See, I had several counselors growing up. I know people are going to be shocked to fucking find that out, he said sarcastically. You can expect me to be wearing the Doc Holiday t-shirts on various videos over the next couple of days. The fans are awesome and the trolls can suck my dick. I would tell my trolls to get bit by a cobra, but they're not even worthy of dying from a poisonous, or, excuse me, a lapidae. Okay, cobras are venomous. There is a difference. Fuckers. My trolls are not worthy of getting a venomous bite from a cobra. There we go. You want to know the best part about this shit, YouTube? My trolls will try to harass me at everything that I do. Oh, they're going to get their kicks on this part. But here's the best part. I win because I don't try as hard as they do. I don't got to get inside my trolls' heads. You know? My trolls created fake posts on the internet and got me kicked out of my last apartment. And it got me into a much better bitching apartment. They got me fired from every job that I've had. And it got me doing my entrepreneurship, selling my magic wands, and helping sell tactical soap. And now they're just mad because what they're doing isn't working and what I'm doing is. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
They have no say in the rearing of their kids. These people right here want to wreck consent, take consent away forever.
Now, I like watching Family Guy, and I hate sickos, but if my kids were too young to watch Family Guy, I'd be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying, YouTube? Am I the bad guy for saying that because I'm not PC enough? You know, like, fucking kiss my ass, dude. Family Guy pushes boundaries. But it is what it is.
Trying to put peds and shroomers into an own sexual identity class. This is rich.
Yeah, it's beyond rich. Trying to put sickos and groomers into their own sexual identity. It is a plague on society, YouTube.
Significant amount of.
That's what makes it rich. I'm just like, fucking A, mate. You people are fucking mental.
Work with kids even starting at age 13. What would be the age of consent then in your mind?
In our community, the age of consent
in our community, see, they're trying to cultify their personality, and they're doing it for the wrong reasons. And there's nothing you can do about it except bitch about it and be like, call it out when it happens, and fuck sickos.
health therapy is 12 years old.
All right, so if they say the age of consent, which means,
as the Carpathrians said, sexual independence is beautiful. However, as long as they're of age and consenting, alive, and human, okay, that should be pretty much the basics of it. If they don't identify as human, they identify as aliens, then they probably got more problems than you have.
don't have to be involved as 12.
And at the same time, I do not judge because, you know, we all have our hobbies and our interests, and I get that. But people are taking it too far sometimes. You're taking it far, that's too far, some people might say, with some of the rants that I go off on. But like this, in my opinion, is too far.
That means 6, because everything these people tell you, it's a lie. Always divide by at least a factor of 2. And where does it end? These adults want to have relationships with little children. It's constantly being pushed. There is never enough a sacrifice you can give of your children to make these people happy.
Yeah, no, fuck sickos, man. I'll catch you later.